And I'm back with more Spirit of Justice, and hopefully I don't screw this shit up again, because that episode was pretty fucking long last time, so let's go. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer. Dispel defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well, let's call this eyewitness to the stand. It's this guy. It's him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid eyes on. Please state your name and occupation. I'm, that so-and-so, whatchamacallit. Arnold Anonymous TBD. At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD is to be determined. Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesic. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD, my own report. But he thinks TBD is part of his name. Objection! You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear. I've already questioned him at length. While it is true he's utterly forgotten his name in the past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the depth or the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Ihmus, tell me what you saw. Hopefully this goes a lot better than the last one. That night I was up in the mountain of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain near the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right of the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger! There's no way you saw Mistface stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember, at any rate. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountains known as the Little Sanctum. Must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Those guards are up, though. There's no way he would have seen anything. Mr. Ihmus, I was wondering, what can I do you for? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it? His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Ihmus, on the day of the rite, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Let's take a look. Enjoy calm, clear skies. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? See? I told you so! Shit. But yeah, the ritual curtain. Well, it would appear the witnesses offer testimony worth hearing. Mr. Ihmus, I have a question for you. Didn't he already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot! How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, the blade protruding from the bottom of her hand? Yeah, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip. I thought as much.
Hold it!
Hold it right there! What bearing does this have to do in the case, and why are you like Naked Snake? Stop being so finicky about how people hold guns and knives and shit. Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Did you not see the significance of how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, O enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes. After your soul rides in centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin, with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. The accused held the dagger as of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells me something important. The accused approached from the victim behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. What? Thus, Mr. Ihmus' testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. It coincides with her insights as well. This is a disaster. Thought I'd blown the insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Yay! No more finicky bullshit. Ritual curtain act. Fourth statement. Easy. Easy stuff I can handle. Okay.
Objection!
Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy-bearded witness, but now I know I can't trust him. What? You ain't judging solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. Ihmus. I almost want to call him Ihmus after Don Ihmus, but I don't want to do that. Anyway, it's much more your sketchy appearance, it's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, it was completely enclosed to the ritual curtain. Why, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't have possibly seen the murder happen. Ha-ha! Or hoo-ha! He totally did the Al Pacino, didn't he? Mr. Ihmus, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? You got me. The witness will lower his voice so as not to clip the microphone. I didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see it? What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight, I beg you. This guy's such a putz. This guy's such a putz. This is funny. Anyway, amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the curtain. Figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger. Shadows? What is this, Persona? That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected on the curtain. In the future, Mr. Ihmus, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it's still valuable testimony. You gotta be kidding me. What are we gonna do, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual Rite and what Mr. Ihmus saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine once more. Rite's guide at the second statement. Yeah.
Objection!
Yay! You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? How is it not possible? It was totally possible. That's impossible! I think I'm gonna need a logical ease translation. Let's take a look at this Rite's guide, shall we? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Ihmus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum. Oh, holy mother. That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on the curtain. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lantern that casts the shadows he saw? I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Ihmus claims to have seen. I did see him, though. Really? How could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible? Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Ihmus really did see the shadows, it brings a new fact to light. He was somewhere else in the inner sanctum. And that would be... The brand new fact that comes to light is he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Then where do you propose the witness was? Some place where he could have seen the shadowy figures, naturally. Wait, you mean... None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum were close enough for a good view. Leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Ihmus was at the time. The inner sanctum. Mr. Ihmus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. It's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figure. Hoo-ha! Really? I didn't even think of that. Wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to both all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that that's a subject Prosecutor Sadmani would rather not touch right now. You mean... That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he's the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could have been the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. Oh, that's a different one.
Objection!
I don't know if I could say that again. Let's try it again. Googa! No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space? Oh, he must have... I didn't think that far ahead. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and a steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there without climbing the faces of the cliffs. His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Ihmus was in such an inaccessible location is but to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right! I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No, sir, no how. At least, pretty sure I wasn't. Then, what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane. This is really stupid. I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. I don't know, the witness is doing a pretty good job of it himself. Peace, I say. This is impossible. Unless I could show how he got to the inner sanctum, it just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Ihmus. I believe in you, Nick. What the? Rah-rah, sis, boom, bah. Fight, fight, Phoenix Rite! Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem? What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Rite's very trustworthy, I'll have you know. She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence. It's probably kept best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. If I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Ihmus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Testimony, pony, let's go. I was not the inner sanctum. I tell you, that much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible for me to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Well, that's a shitty-ass testimony. Guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum as he claims, but... Now, will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there. Mr. Rite, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell. Cryanism is the strictest religion ever! And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years. Plus the 5 they started with! That's 700 million years of torment! Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I don't like tickling. I can't keep saying the witness was there at the sanctum if I can't prove it. Problem is, how am I going to do that? Press third statement.
Hold it!
I wonder if that's really impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum. If you have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't! Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would like to share its theory. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention. He came from the sky! Maybe you fell from the sky? The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you'd propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Ihmus could have parachuted down? We already know the weather was clear. There's no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Now that you've been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge in a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was, even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the sacred mountain? That is Royal Penitentiary number 4. Oh right, Princess Rayfa was mentioning there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? My helicopter. But only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Sanctum flyer pages. Might I also add defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving had been found. Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. Well, please add that to your testimony anyway. It's not like I can fly through the air either. Sanctum flyer flags, or sanctum prayer flags.
Objection!
Mr. Ihmus is right. You couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well, now, finally coming around, have you? Now you see I couldn't have possibly been at the inner sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? An overreaction's a dead giveaway I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they've been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that can function like a parachute. Pokunka. The people of Kurine are so used to seeing prayer flags. The police didn't even think twice about those flags during the investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using those prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Ihmus? There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Mr. Ihmus? All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all. As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Ah, shit, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Thanks? Mr. Ihmus, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? No way, no how. It's like, oh yeah, I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider. Paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using a patchwork mess of material? May not look like much, but it is sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, soaring higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum. So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that? No, please calm yourself. However, the fact the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed, and it certainly warrants further explication. Let's continue with more testimony. Alright. Let's see. Should I... I'm looking here. I'm wondering if I should... Yeah, because third statement. Accident forced me to make an emergency landing. Okay. What I can do is get through the cross-examination and then... Or get to the cross-examination and then call this episode. Cut this one short because the other one ran so long. That might make more sense. Why was I at the inner sanctum? That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, it banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up there by accident. Sure. Mr. Ihmus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. It can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it just now. continue such slipshod's testimony, and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. I think I'll pass on that. Looks like that caught Prosecutor Sanmati off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds. Cool. Alright. Actually, I wonder. Can I? No, there's still quite a lot here. Yeah, I'm gonna be smart. Stick with my plan here. Alright. Yeah, so yesterday's episode went long. This episode, I'll cut short. Because I'm trying to keep to my plan as far as episode length. But we will get to the end of this part of the trial and move to the next part of the investigation next time. Thanks for watching.